Cornell University provides need-based financial aid to all of its admitted students, whether you're domestic or international, and in some cases, this aid even goes up to 100%. We've seen cases through like the Tata scholarship, and this financial aid package that they offer doesn't just include tuition fee. It includes living expenses, food, books, and basically everything you might need to study in this big red Ivy League. Now, having graduated from Cornell myself, I'm a little biased and may even say that it's the best Ivy League that's out there. Founded in 1865, the philosophy that Cornell goes by is any person, any study, and they stand by that by offering more than 80 different majors that students can study from. This ranges all the way from engineering, science, business, pre-med, and even pre-law. So many to choose from. So in this Road to Success episode, we're talking all about Cornell University, understanding the admission requirements, what it calls for in the application, and how can you maximize your scholarship chances, whether you're applying as a prospective undergraduate or a graduate student. So I'd like to know from you guys in the comments below, other than the universities that we're covering in the US, which other college would you like to see outside of the US? Maybe it's in Canada or the UK or Australia that we may cover as a dedicated video. Drop that suggestion. So let's begin with prospective undergrad admissions. Now last year, Cornell had over 65,000 students that applied, and just 5,500 or so actually got the offer letters. This put the acceptance rate just at below 10%, and over the last few years, that's where it's consistently been. So it is pretty competitive to get admitted, and it's one of the most prestigious universities out there. So I'm not surprised that they have such a low acceptance rate. Now, when it comes to academics, students that got accepted had their GPAs a year above 3.8 on a 4 scale, and they did write the standardized testing. So if you're maintaining anything above a 1500 in the SAT or above 33 in the ACT, you have a pretty good shot of getting admitted. Let's break down the application process. So in order to apply, you'll be using the Common App, which is the website that you're pretty much familiar with. You're using this for your other applications as well. And they have an application fee of $85, which is the same for domestic and international students both. Now, Cornell does offer two types of deadlines. There's an early decision deadline of November 1st, and there's a regular decision deadline of January 2nd. So you can decide which of these two you want to apply for. In terms of the application requirements themselves, Cornell has stated that it does require standardized testing scores, so you will either have to write the SAT or the ACT if you're planning to apply. Now for English proficiency, this is a requirement for international students. So you are required to either write TOEFL, in which you need to get above 100, or IELTS, in which you need to get 7 or above. When it comes to essays, we're looking at two different essays. You have one, which is the Common App personal essay, standard essay, 650 words that you'll be sending to all of your colleges. And other than that, Cornell just asks for one other supplemental essay. It's not bad at all. They talk about community values and how you would contribute to fostering, their community and their values that they uphold. And it's 350 words. So compared to the other colleges that I've seen that ask for like 5, even 10 different supplemental essays, this isn't a bad combination at all. So other than this, some school documents that you'll be required to add would be your counselor report, media report, school transcripts, and 2 letters of recommendation. On your part, you technically just need to add in the counselor and teacher email addresses, and they'll take care of the rest in terms of uploading the actual school documents onto the Common App portal. So what does Cornell consider important when they're evaluating different students? They're looking for someone who has a holistic profile, and according to their most recent common data set, this includes things like class rigor, essays, recommendation, activities, their ability to perform well as a student, and even character. Now, some areas that weren't considered as important were commitment or level of interest. Let's get to the most awaited part, which is scholarships and financial aid. Now, with $71,000 per year as the tuition fee, this is not a cheap Ivy League to attend. But the good news is, because they offer need-based financial aid, many students are able to significantly cut this number down by a huge factor. So how do you actually apply? Now, the first step would be indicating in your common application that you want to be considered for the financial aid. Remember, if you select no here, there's no going back. You cannot go back after they've given you admission to tell them that you would like to be considered now, because situations or circumstances changed. You have to do this before you apply. Now, the second step depends on whether you're a domestic student. So if you are a US citizen, you would fill out the FAFSA form. And if you are an international student, you will fill out the CSS form along with the IDOC document verification. Now, another exciting opportunity that Cornell provides is for students from India. Ratan Tata was an alumni from Cornell and generously donated an endowment of $25 million, which would be used to give scholarships and financial aid to potential Indian undergrad students. The eligibility was that you have to be an Indian citizen and have to have completed your high school in India. And that's pretty much about it. If you got admitted into Cornell, funds would be taken out of this endowment and provided to you as a scholarship on a need basis. Now, this is very generous, and this is one of the only Ivy Leagues that I've seen that offers this type of scholarship to Indian-specific students. So let's hear from someone who got this scholarship firsthand.
And if you'll just look at the tower in the back, just
there's the one.
That's the view I get every single day.
That's cool.
And so this is home.
That's nice. Tell us a little bit about like the scholarship that you got and what exactly kind of like it fell under.
So I'm currently on a Tata scholarship. It's a fully funded 100% scholarship.
See, no clickbait. He got it. He's doing it. He's doing it right now. So when you apply to Cornell, let's say you're applying through Common App, you would basically select the option that you need financial aid. Let them know.
Yeah, CSS profile. You need to fill out a supplemental profile with all of your family's finances, give them your entire information about everything.
And you applied for need-based aid.
Yeah.
And even though you got the Tata scholarship,
Correct.
It's not a separate application that you applied for.
Not at all.
And when you got the aid, the funds are coming out of the Tata Endowment Fund, which is
Correct.
why it's known as a Tata scholarship.
Correct.
But at the end of the day, it is a need-based aid.
It is a need-based aid, of course.
As we've seen, having a wholesome profile and applying in the correct way is such a crucial step to getting admitted in a university such as Cornell. Now, I feel like there's a competitive advantage, especially if you're a student from India, with being able to snag that Ratan Tata scholarship, which can potentially provide you with 100% financial aid. And doing the whole process right becomes even more difficult and important for you at this stage. So with that, if there's one place where you can find all of your application walkthroughs, a step-by-step tutorial of what you need to do in the application process, when you should be doing it, that would be so helpful, right? Now that's why the Ivy League 101 course is perfect for you. It provides a one dedicated dashboard place where you can get all of your video tutorials all the way from college shortlisting to Common App walkthrough, to CSS profile walkthrough, and essays, examples, resume templates, even letter of recommendation templates in one dedicated place. Now, the one-time fee for the course is included for the entire academic cycle that you're applying to, so you get it for almost 1 year, and it's a perfect kind of study buddy to tag along. The best part is 2 new features that are being added this year include student profiles and AI Ivy Mentor. The student profiles give you a sneak peek into what a specific successful student profile looks like, all the way from academics, essays, activities, honors, and to what colleges they got accepted in. So 3 student profiles, and the AI Ivy Mentor is a place where you can ask your questions and get some dedicated AI-assisted help. Now with that, the Ivy League course is now live, and the link for that is going to be in the description below. There is early bird pricing going on, so make sure that you check out the slabs and hurry up and snag it before it moves on to the next slab. So let's talk about graduate admissions. This includes all the students that are potentially applying for master's as well as PhD programs. Now, according to the most recent data set, 7,000 students in total applied for Cornell's graduate programs, which I know is a significant reduction compared to the undergrad population. But just know that because graduate degrees become optional and not everyone pursues a graduate degree, it's pretty common that this number is slightly lower. The acceptance rate for Cornell's graduate programs, and this is master's and PhD combined, is roughly 25%. So if you're really thinking about this is good news. There's a very, very strong chance that you can actually get in. So if you're applying to Cornell's master's or PhD programs, you'll be using Cornell's dedicated application portal, where the fee is $105 for domestic or international students. They do have an option there for applying for a fee waiver in the portal itself, so you can explore that. It does take a few days for the answer to come, and I've seen it go both ways, whether in some cases they do approve your request and waive that fee. Now, the deadlines are a little tricky because this depends department-wise and what degree you're applying for. So you'll need to find this out for your specific major. The requirements are pretty straightforward. Most of the programs will require either a GRE or GMAT that you need to have. Now, depending on what degree or major you're applying for, if it's more science than math-based, it may be GRE. If it's a little bit more business or social studies-based, it may be GMAT. So explore those requirements. English proficiency is required. You need either above 77 on TOEFL or more than a 7.0 in your IELTS. There are some exceptions that they list out. For example, if you've done your undergrad schooling in the US, or if you're a US citizen, you don't have to write the English proficiency, so you may be waived from that requirement as well. You'll be required to give 2 to 3 letters of recommendation, and because you're applying to a grad program, these can typically come from possible professors from your undergraduate degree, or if you have some work experience, just recent supervisors are also acceptable. Now, other than this, there are 2 big essays that you'll be writing and focusing on. The first one is the academic statement of purpose. In this particular essay, they're trying to look for an explanation on what type of education, background, and training you have that makes you a good fit for the particular grad program that you're applying for. If you're applying for a PhD, this is the place where you convince them that you have the right academic proficiency and excellence to execute the entire PhD program of study that you're applying for. The second type of essay is a personal statement. This personal essay talks about what's important to you, how do you plan to use your knowledge and better the community. Now, if you've had educational hardships in your past that you would like to highlight, this is the right place to do that as well. Now, most majors may require both of them, but I have seen some majors that will either require one or the other. The best part is the Ivy League 101 course includes samples of both of these types of essays, so you'll have something to reference and go off of if you're applying to Cornell even. And lastly, you'll need your undergrad transcripts. Now, I've seen that at the time of application, they do accept e-copies, so you don't have to go through a lot of trouble of sending them actual transcripts. But in the event that you're accepted, they may ask for physical copies to be sent by your previous college. So just be aware of that and ask the department that you're applying for what this entire process may look like, especially if you're an international student. Now, another note I'd like to add is for prospective PhD applicants. Now, I know there's a notion of reaching out to professors beforehand to start building a good relationship and start securing a spot before you actually apply, but this is not how Cornell works. They prefer that you apply first and then professors that are interested will reach out to you. So please don't waste your time or burn any bridges beforehand by cold emailing or reaching out to professors without even applying. They will not entertain this, and in fact, it'll kind of lead to a bad reputation that you're setting on yourself before you even get started with the process. So talking about financial aid, if you're applying to the master's programs, there is little to no financial aid that Cornell offers. You may be able to work part-time on campus to sustain yourself, but this is just a couple $100 or maybe $1,000 to $1,500 a month that you're looking at towards living expenses. You do need to be able to bear the tuition fee by yourself through personal expenses, education loans, etc. On the other hand, if you're applying to their PhD programs, those are fully funded, but they're funded in an exchange for you to do like an RA position, TA position, and sort of like these grant money that comes from it. So you'll be expected to work on campus in various different departments at different capacities, and in exchange for that, they do fund your PhD. And this funding includes the tuition fee funding plus a small stipend that you receive each month for living expenses. Alright, that's all I had for this video. Remember, check out the Ivy League 101 course, which is now live. The spots, especially the first few, fill up so fast, and the AI Ivy Mentor Tool isn't going to be around for a long time. It's only available for the first few weeks, so definitely take advantage of it. The best part is the course is applicable to different universities in the US, not just Cornell. So this is going to help you for your entire application process, and it's useful to undergrad as well as prospective grad students. So definitely take advantage of that. For those of you that are watching till this point, I want to ask you, what is your favorite soft drink, your favorite soda? For me right now, it's Coke. Not the Coke Zero, not the Diet Coke, just Coke. It's like I get it from the refrigerator, it has to be ice chilled, and it just hits the spot every single time. So drop yours in the comments below. Like the video if you're watching till this point, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.